light up. Hope you are doing well, everyone. Who is here? Say hello to me. 16 people here already. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Put something in the chat if you are here, if you've arrived. And I've got a little sound thing, so I'm about to gong that in a moment, but we'll wait. We'll wait for you to get settled in, sit down, get into a comfortable space. And if you are here, please say something in the chat. Say hello, tell me where you are from, tell me which city you're from, because I travel a lot and I might want to visit your city. Who knows? Maybe you can take me somewhere. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what time it is right now. Say hello. Say whatever you feel like saying, right? I want this to feel like a vibe together, rather than there's like all these people on their screens in different parts of the world, and then there's this guy that you're watching that talks, and then you're over there. No, I want this to be everyone's here together. I'm the facilitator, and we're all doing this together. So how does that sound, everyone? Let me know in the chat. Say something. Let me know where you're from. Get involved. Arrive in this spot, in this moment. Take a breath out if you feel like it, like I just did. Take a breath out and just arrive. Because ultimately, that's what meditation is. It's arriving here in my body, feeling my breath, letting go of a breath if I need to. Meditation is authenticity. It's being ourselves. So, welcome. We have Victoria, Australia. Wow, I'm loving this. I've got Australians here. I don't usually catch you guys. I've been trying to catch you guys all year long. Like I've got a little net trying to catch Australians. And I hardly ever get you guys. So it's good to see you here. We've got two of you. We've got Melbourne and we've got Victoria, Australia. Any other Aussies in the house? Or any other country, any other city? I used to play this game. When I first started doing Insight Timer sessions, I played this game right at the beginning as an icebreaker before every session. I said, let's see if we can count to 10 countries. And it used to happen all the time. Like people were like, I'm from here, I'm from here, I'm from here. And we got to 10 countries. So tell me which country you're from, guys. Throw it in the chat. Rep your city, rep your country. Throw it in there. We've got Australia, we've got California, we've got England, UK. What else do we have? Ohio, nice. We've got another Australian. This is unprecedented. What's going on? We've got 3 Australians at once. It's probably because I'm doing these sessions later. I usually do these sessions way earlier, or not way earlier, a few hours earlier. So you guys are waking up, Aussies. The weather's starting to get good out there, isn't it? I might actually be there at some point. I heard Christmas is a great time to be in Australia, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Christmas, January time. We've got Canada. Okay, there we go. That's 4 countries. Great. Any other countries? If you're sitting there and you're from a different country and you haven't mentioned it, put it in the chat. We got New Zealand as well. There we go. Nice. Kiwis are awake. Nice to have you. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Hope everyone is settling in well. Hope you're all settling in well. I'm going to introduce the session and myself in a moment. So if you've just arrived, there's quite a few of you here, so this must be a popular topic. You guys have clicked on this for a reason, right? Something about this topic is speaking to you. Existential crisis is such a buzz phrase, isn't it? Existential crisis. So you guys tell me what that means in the chat. If anyone wants to share, what does that mean? And then I'm going to share a bit about myself and my experiences with this existential crisis. All right. So let me start. Let me be the one that gets started. Kick this off. And I encourage you guys to play with me in the chat whenever you feel like it, because it's fun to have a conversation, a group conversation. So I'm Raj Gorsia, and I'm from London, UK. I travel a lot. That's why I ask you guys where you're from, because I enjoy that. A digital nomad, basically, sometimes. And I got onto Insight Timer about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, because I went on this mission to share all the things with the world that younger me would have loved to have had. To give everything that I can with the world that younger me would really have benefited from, you know? And I'll tell you about younger me. People seem to think, oh, Raj, you're so confident with your voice. You're such a great speaker. But there's still that little boy inside who had heavy social anxiety. For most of my life, I couldn't speak. I felt like speaking was something that I'll get told off for. I felt like I didn't fit in. I had to be quiet. I had to try and fit in, you know? So I've had this like forever feeling of lost, to be honest. Didn't matter if I was having a great life. I still had this feeling of I'm lost. What do I do with my life? Who am I? And I had this social anxiety, right? Anyone ever experienced social anxiety? Put something in the chat. Just say yes. So this social anxiety showed up in this way where whenever I was around people, I'd have like a increased body temperature. Firstly, that was the first thing that I noticed. Increased body temperature. And then I'd just have racing thoughts, let's say. Hoping that I don't get caught out or I don't get put into an awkward position. Like really hoping that this social interaction is going to be safe. That's how it felt, right? I was begging for those safe situations because I always felt unsafe. The only time I felt safe was when I was alone in my room, to be honest. So it made life quite hard. Because I knew there was a potential inside me, right? Maybe some of you guys know, even if you haven't had social anxiety, maybe you know that there's this potential inside you. You can feel something wanting to come out, or something that wants to be said, or some life that you want to live, somewhere you want to go, something you want to do. Tell me if you can relate, guys. Because it was bursting out of me, or it was trying to burst out of me, actually. That's the point. It was trying to burst out of me, but it was like it couldn't. I couldn't speak. I couldn't get it out. I was always good at sports. I was always very good at school as well, like extra smart. But you know what I did? I dumbed it all down on purpose. I dumbed it all down so I didn't have to get seen, so I didn't stand out, right? So I purposely didn't do well at school. I didn't try out for a team, even though I was good at sports. And I just kept like living in this shadow of, I wish I this. Oh, yeah, like. So, yeah, it didn't attract attention, like someone said. Then I went on this mission, right? This is where the story changes. I went on this mission to slow down my body first. Got into bodybuilding heavily. It was great. It was like, wow, I can actually change something in my life. Wow. I actually have some control over my energy. Wow. It gave me such power, right? Got into bodybuilding, fitness, started really understanding foods and how they affect my energy. Things started to change a little bit. Then I walk into this yoga class, and some of you guys might have heard me say this before, but walk into this yoga class because this pretty girl was going, right? I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to the yoga class. Sure. She's going. So I go to the yoga class, and little did I know that everything would have changed from that point. Lying in Shavasana, thinking, what's going on? I actually feel calm for once. What is this feeling? This feeling's so different, very different to the feeling of I've had a good run or I've had a good workout. No, it's very different to that. Very different. So, long story short, I'm going to cut a lot of bits out. If anyone's interested, there's a whole like YouTube video that I made about this. Long story short, I really got into yoga, really got into meditation, breath practices, started just sitting in my room alone for hours, trying things out like a mad scientist, feeling this, feeling that. Oh, what if I do this? What if I do that? Just playing around, you know. I didn't have a guide. I was too scared to tell people that I was having challenges. So I played that hard man role, that like tough thing. So I just did everything on my own, you know. Guide would have helped, I'm sure, but yeah, I learned things along the way. Then I quit my job. I was having really good jobs, actually. I was functional anxious, let's call it. Can anyone relate to that? Functional, highly functional, anxious. Yeah, highly functional anxious. Yeah, you could do good. You do well in your career. You could speak well. Everything goes fine. But then there's this lingering like phantom. That's how it felt like. Lingering phantom behind me, following me around, right? Like, what is that thing? Why is it always here? Left my job, went traveling. I'm speeding up the story now. Left my job, went traveling for a few years with nothing around South America, Asia. It was only meant to be a few months, but somehow turned into nearly a few years. Decided, wow, there's actually something bigger than what I thought life was. So I went like 10x'd my yogic development, and I found something that I never thought I would have found, which was purpose and peace. Fulfillment inside. So that's what this session is about. Hope you're ready for this. The existential crisis occurs when there is a instability. There's lack of direction as well, lack of purpose, right? Can anyone relate to that? Lack of purpose. The feeling of like, this question of like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? career might be okay. I might have my finances might be okay. My health might be good. Family might be good. Everything on paper might seem fine. You know, there's been so many people I've met like this. On paper, everything is great. But there's still this feeling of like, it's just not fulfillment. You know, there's a search. There's a searching, right? What's out there? What is life? What is my life? So that's where this whole existential thing comes in. It's my existence. And this often happens when people go on the spiritual path, let's call it. You know, spiritual path can be vague, right? So let me define that. When people start looking inwardly at themselves, at their mind, people start working on themselves, optimizing things, reading things, learning things, awareness expands. And it's like this, right? If I'm in a room and all I could see was what's in front of me, and all of a sudden, now I can see all these things in the room. Ooh, what's that? That's kind of scary. So that's what awareness can do. It can create this crisis kind of feeling because there's more awareness. We could see more of the room. We could see more of our world. We could see more of our inner world. This is how it was for me anyway. I started seeing things differently, right? Started not being as interested in certain activities. Like I used to do a lot of partying, a lot of drinking, going out and searching for something, I don't even know what, searching for a high. Really searching for fulfillment, to be honest. Thinking that this great night out, yeah, I'm living. There's nothing wrong with going on a night out. I'd still go on a night out now. You know, I don't do it much, to be honest. But I guess like what I'm trying to say is there's this searching, right? Seeing more of the stories. Yeah, I have a great job but never feel fulfilled. Pointless job with no purpose. Exactly. I think honestly what I realized was the soul tries to speak to us. The soul tries to communicate with us. And I honestly, now I can say this, right? I wouldn't have believed this before. If I had told myself this, I wouldn't have believed it. And that is that all those social anxiety challenges, all those feelings of rejection and worry and confusion was trying to show me something. It was a light. So I hope that helps anyone as a starter, right? Hope that helps any of you guys. If you're feeling any discomfort with this, my approach is never to say, let's numb it down and let's try and like destroy it, because in there sometimes there's gold. You know, like there's different approaches to this art of transformation or living or whatever you might call it, right? Potential. Different coaches, different practitioners will do it differently. I realized that a lot of the over-exercising and overworking and overlooking for healing solutions, it wasn't exactly what I needed. Some of it turned into what I call a spiritual illusion. I was like numbing the potential that wanted to come out, really. And I see this amongst clients sometimes. Not saying this is what everyone feels generically, but I see it sometimes. There's a potential in this crisis, in these questions. Let me know if this is hitting anyone so far. Put something in the chat. Give me some feedback before I continue. Let's slow down. If this is speaking to you in some way, if this is hitting your soul or your heart, then keep listening to that, right? I don't ever try and tell people what's true. I never try and tell people how to be. Instead, I want to direct people towards their own wisdom and intuition that tells them for themselves. So don't listen to me for information. Information's in all the books. It's in all the books. I've read all of them. I didn't find anything. I read all the books. It gave me so much information about purpose. And then there's Jay Shetty talking about things like purpose. And then there's Eckhart Tolle. And then there's all these famous people. It's great information. But what I try to bring people towards is go to you. When there's this existential crisis, go to you. And let's pause for a moment with that. And just take a breath into your body as I say that. Take a breath into your heart. So, I'm going to give you something that will help you. Maybe that's why you joined. You might be thinking, Raj, where's the thing you said in the title? Your 5-step formula for forever fulfillment. It sounds great, doesn't it? Sounds lovely. I'm going to give you that in a moment. 5 steps that have helped me to move past all crises, always. And I have them still sometimes. And like I said before, I just look at it differently now. I'm like, what needs to expand in me when I'm feeling discomfort of this crisis? What is being called into me to learn and grow? You know, like there's that saying, I don't know exactly what the saying is, but like in, I think it's Christianity, they say, God is testing us. I'm not Christian, but I like that. And not like, hey, I'm going to test you to see how strong you are. Are you capable as a human? No, in a loving way. If there is a God, whatever that means, if there is something that is out there that is doing good, then it has to be loving, right? It has to be good. And when it's like testing us, it's like, yeah, let me show you what you need to see. It might not feel nice all the time, but let me show you. And after you move past it, then it will feel nice. like lifting a weight, like lifting weights sometimes. Lift it, and then, oh look, muscles are growing. So let me quickly read the chat before I go into the 5 steps. So let me see. Yes, sometimes spiritual journey was numbing to my true nature. Now I'm free to be myself and feel clear on my spiritual path. I think I was trying too hard. That's a good one. Yeah. Like I've caught myself. There was this one year where I was doing so much yoga and something hit me and I said, wait, this thing has turned into an illusion. That's how the ego works sometimes. It's like, let me do yoga all the time, but the yoga is done from a state of scarcity that thinks doing yoga is going to help me be free. And that's a hard one to wrap your head around, right? I found it hard to wrap my head around at the time. If I'm doing yoga, if I'm meditating, if I'm doing anything from a state of scarcity and control and looking into the future thinking, yeah, when I achieve this yoga, then I'll be happy, then it can become an illusion. That's what I learnt. But if I do the yoga from presence, from love, from I'm nurturing myself, I'm looking after myself, that was a massive game changer for me. Massive. I didn't realize I was torturing myself for years with bodybuilding as well. I wasn't doing it from love, it was from torture. Running. Hey, let's get a personal best. What for? What's it for? What for? To make my ego feel good or what? I had to ask myself those things. So let's get into these 5. And notice what's coming up for you when I'm saying these things, right? Like notice what's coming up. Does it feel nice? Does it not feel nice? Does it stir up something in you? This crisis stuff is tricky sometimes. I've learned that. I've become very defensive sometimes because I'm seeing others on social media or whatever. Hey, they're living a great life. What about my life? You know what I mean? Could be challenging, right? All that stuff. So here's the steps to be forever fulfilled. If you've got a pen and paper, write it down if you want to. You know, I'm not saying I'm the world's answers, but this is what I've seen work really well for me and for others that I've personally coached, right? It's a bit of a framework. It's a bit of a toolkit, let's call it. We work on these 5 things systematically and life just feels better, right? So they are 5P's. They are 5P's. 5P. If I had a whiteboard right now, you know, this is why I like using Zoom. If anyone wants to join some of my Zoom calls, I'm hosting one. When's the next one? Oh, there's one tomorrow actually, but maybe that's too short notice for some. But there's one tomorrow about freedom. And I draw things, I share things sometimes. A bit more functionality, let's say. But anyway, let's get into those 5P's. Number one is presence. Presence. If I have presence, then I can see the mind moving very fast. It's like if I was waving my hand like this and I really focus, Okay, I can see the hand a bit better. If I'm driving a car and I have more presence, I'm focused, right? I'm feeling every shift. I drive better. But if I'm driving a car and I'm listening to music or I'm playing with my phone, I'm not present with the car. And that's quite dangerous, to be honest. So don't do that. So number one is presence. Presence helps me to navigate these existential crises because it helps me to see better. I can see what's going on. And I'll get back into this in a moment. But let me move on. Number two is power. Power meaning the intensity of my life force energy. So this could also be potency as well. Potency is a good word. Potency or power. I just realized there's loads of people here. Great, nice to see you guys. If you're just joining, then just say hello in the chat. Tell me where you're from. So number one, just to repeat, was presence. Presence helps me with crises in my mind. Where am I going? What am I doing with my life? Because I can slow down. Number two is power/potency. If there is clean energy rushing through my body, flowing through my body, then that means I'm vibrant. I'm more vibrant. I can think more clearly. My brain is getting better oxygen. The energy is moving around me better. So now it's more likely that I'm going to have a buzz about what to do next. Okay, I'm having a crisis, but what would I like to do? What fires me up? And this potency, this power, also means that anything that needs to be detoxified out of my body can, right? Because there's this clear oxygen moving through, there's a fire moving through me. So if you're having challenges, thinking about what to do in your life, generate great power, and you will definitely start seeing, thinking differently, acting differently. Like Dr. Joe Dispenza. Does anyone know Dr. Joe Dispenza? Put a yes in the chat. I like him because he's turned yogic wisdom into Western language, basically. That's what he's done. He's speaking all the same yogic stuff, but he's turned it into a really good scientific or research project. So yeah, he talks about change your energy and change your life. The energy is flowing through. If there's a potency, it can definitely change the way we see things. Has for me. It's helped me become more confident if I have this power moving through me, right? However, this is where we move on to P number 3. If there's a lot of potency, I've seen in myself in the past that can add to the ego fuel. Have you ever met someone who's like a very fit and very strong, but they're arrogant, they're rude? Because the power's gone to their head, or someone who's very successful in business or something like that. Power's gone to their head. Power gone to the head. I felt this before when I was very strong, a lot of potency. Yeah, it was just a bit of a mess, to be honest. My ex-husband, I love that. How many other people know people like that in their lives? And it's just an energetic chemical process that's going on, really. They're missing P number 3, or not missing, but let's just say P number 3 could be opened up a bit more. P number 3 is the word called prem. Does anyone know what prem means? It's an Indian word, prem. Gold star for whoever puts the right answer in the chat. What does prem mean? I'm playing the teacher role right now, asking questions. I don't know what that little image is someone's put there. It looks like a cup. Looks like a cup with like a ball of honey inside it. Or the sun. Does anyone know what prem means? What does prem mean? Who knows? Is there any Indians here? I'll give you a few seconds more. Caris says love. Yes. Okay, so yes, that's what it means. And not just love, because there's a few different words that could mean love in the Indian language. Very interesting like that. It's the highest form of love, which is unconditional love. Unconditional love. Unconditional is beautiful love. So if there is a love for ourselves, when there's this crisis, what am I doing with my life? There's judgment. I've judged myself for loads of things. Oh, I'm not here yet. I'm getting too old for this. Why am I not doing? What's wrong with me? All this judgment and suffering I've caused on myself. Right? I've not been kind to myself for most of my life. I didn't realize that. I thought it was just normal to be rude and to judge and shame myself all day long. Guilt myself all day long. I just thought that was normal. When I started creating more prem for me, for that younger me that didn't know any different, for the me that's here who's trying to do best in life, I'm doing the best I can, and if I love myself, I'm like my own parent. Imagine there's a little kid. And little kid's like, I'm having a crisis. I don't know what I am. I don't know what to do. I'm hopeless. Those other kids are better. If you're a nice person, you'd probably try and nurture them, right? So this is what we need when there's a crisis. Existential crisis. There has to be love. If this is missing, it was missing for most of my life, and no wonder I felt so tense all the time. Edgy. I didn't feel anything in my heart, honestly. Like if you had said something about the heart to me, I would have said this. I would have said, that's only something that woman can feel, number one, maybe. Or I would have said, that's the cardiovascular muscle that's beating. Yeah, that's what heart is. I really didn't understand it. No wonder I was so edgy. When I started finding this unconditional love, I started accepting where I am, allowing myself to be here. So, okay. Yeah, I'm still having the questions of what do I do with my life? But it's okay now. It's okay. It's okay. I'm okay. Say that to yourself. It's okay. And I'm okay. Really feel that in your heart for a moment. Let's slow down and pause on this for a moment. Everything's okay. Can you give yourself a bit of a hug? This is the sweet stuff. Past me would have been like, this is a bit too soft. What is this soft stuff? Now I see it's just useful, right? It's just nice. If it's useful and nice, yeah, let's do it. So that is number 3. If you're having a crisis, these 3 alone are huge because they bring you into presence. They bring you into the now. They give you a fire and energy about you. Presence, power, and prem. Those are the first 3 steps. Everything's great in your life. There's a bliss. If you really work on these, there's ways to do this. You can do yoga. You can eat well. You can look at the inner child inside. I've got some meditations on my page about that. Speak to that part of you inside. Be your friend. I did a lot of work on that actually. Some years and tears when I really connected to myself. So if you work on these 3, I'm pretty sure that the existential crisis will start really, it's not becoming a crisis anymore. Now it becomes what I call an existential question. An existential question. Now it's not this panic mode because you have presence, number 1. You feel powerful and you have love. Now it's more of okay, what shall I do with my life? I'm excited now. I'm fired up. Now we go on to number 4. P number 4. Can anyone guess what P number 4 would be? I want to see if you guys can guess. P number 4 for the existential crisis. What could it be? All right. I love the answers. Anyone else? I love these answers. You guys are so good. You like reading my mind. Maybe we've met before. All right. Good answers. Melina and Marcy. Double M's. I love the double M's. We got Sonia. Action. I love that as well. Yeah, action is a part of this, but it has to be a P. That's the catch. If it was an A, it would feel weird to have different A's. One A and different P's. All right, so P number 4 is purpose. So Marcy gets a gold star. Well done. So it's purpose. And you know what? This one I can do a whole talk about, but I'm going to slow this down and keep it very simple. Purpose is one of these things that when people talk to me about it and they really get in their heads, I get I just want to really I don't know what the word is, but I just want to tell them what they need to hear, which is this. Purpose isn't a fixed noun. I must find my purpose. It doesn't have to be anyway. Because if it's stressful to think of what is my purpose in life. I did this. I went and found all these ikigai things. Ikigai, yeah, cool. These cross these little circles around each other. Oh yeah, cool, this is fun. It feels good. It is useful. I'm not against any of that. It was really useful for me. It gave me a bit of direction. But then I was still what's my purpose in life? What is it? So I looked at astrology. Oh yeah, astrology says you're a teacher. Okay, I'm doing that already. Great, teacher. Fine. But I still found it challenging. What do I do though? What's the activity of that? Not just finding out a mental story that feels good and I feel nice about myself. Oh yes, I'm a teacher. Great, nice. Now what? I want to be active in the role. So we turn this into purposefulness. Purposefulness, or just purpose as a verb. as an action, like someone said. And not just one grand, exciting purpose like I'm going to change the world through meditation, or I'm going to plant trees or feed kids, I don't know, whatever. Like, yeah, those are purposes. But the action of it, the everyday purposefulness, you don't even need to have that grand purpose sometimes. It's just being in this state of operation where today has felt purposeful. I felt fulfilled. I've done something that really felt meaningful and nice and creative. You know, there's been days where I've just gone for a walk into the woods, and that was purposeful in the moment because that's what I needed. That's what I needed in that moment. And then there's days where I'm here serving you guys on Insight Timer in the night. Because this feels purposeful. This feels like I feel good doing this. This is great. Starting a business. I started a business around this. I'm not just doing this for fun and then I'm going to, I'm a wood chopper as a full-time job. I turned this into a business where it's generating income for me. Because that felt purposeful for me. You know, it felt purposeful to say, hey, I'm going to share some cool things and help people with things I struggled with. I'm going to make YouTube videos. You know, I've started actually doing, you're going to see a lot of YouTube videos from me from now on because I've decided to go down the route of being a YouTuber, let's call it. So putting things there regularly, sharing all of the secrets, all of the things I know. There's going to be a load of those things. So now I feel purposeful for that. This is exciting for me. So day by day, I'm taking action, karmic action. So there's a path of yoga called karma yoga, where we write our destiny, really, or we're stepping into our destiny. It depends on what you believe in. Taking an action that feels inspired, it feels like it's coming from my heart. Each day, I'm writing my karma. I'm changing my future, really. That's purposefulness. If I decide to write a book, and then each day I'm on purpose, writing the book, and then the book's out, look, I've changed the entire fabric of life. You know, I'm an author now. Wow. That's purposefulness to me. And then look, I give this book to people and their lives are changing. Look, it's impacting everything. Or I do this session today and maybe you hear one thing. You heard one sentence today and that cements something inside of you and then something changes for you. That feels like purposefulness for me. So it doesn't have to be what I'm saying as my purposefulness. It could be I really feel a longing to have a child and take care of that child. That's my purpose in this moment. So it comes from the heart. And it has to be present moment driven. Yes, you can have a vision. Yes, you can manifest all of that stuff. Great. But it has to be working in the present moment, right? Everything has to be aligned to that. So there's ways to do this, but I'd start with like really looking within and taking one step, even if you don't know what the next steps are. Take a step. If you want to get over this thing of what am I doing with my life? Who am I? Maybe something you want to do is travel. That's what I did. My purpose in that moment was I want to explore the world. So I went and booked a flight. So whatever you want to do that feels like you're living your life, that will help you with this existential crisis. Out of the head. Usually what it is the head saying, no, that's not a good idea. No, don't do this. No, that's going to cost this much. The money thing comes in. Money becomes a block for everything, right? No, that's too expensive. I've done that many times and then I've regretted it. So that's the 4th P. That one took quite a long time. What's the 5th one? Who wants to guess? What do you think the 5th P is? The 5th P for the existential crisis, solving it. What do you think is the 5th P? This is a solution. Perseverance. Good guess. Who else? Practice. What else? Keep throwing the guess. You're not there yet, but keep throwing some guesses in. This one's fun. They're all fun, but the other ones might seem serious. Oh my God, Raj, how am I going to work on power and love and purposefulness and presence? Those seem hard. The last one's something that might feel more fun. Play, yes. There you go. It's play, exactly. Play. Oh, I need another talk. There is a talk that I did. Please find it if you're interested. It's on my page. It's called Being the Player in the Game of Life. And it's very popular. Seems like people like the word play. I do too. Being the player in the game of life. This is going to get deep, so I'm going to really rein myself in right now. I'll start with this. I believe, or I know for myself anyway, that this outer world is just a place for me to learn from. It's a place for me to learn. There's no other reason for me being on this earth. To learn. Because there's 2 principles. Principle number 1 is that there is this forever, never changing thing within us. We close our eyes and it's there, we're connected to this soul, you might call it. In Vedic wisdom, they'll call it Purusha. It's forever. You can't define it. It doesn't die. It's just there forever. So if we're connected to that, there's a wholeness, and all this stuff we're talking about becomes easier because we're fulfilled instantly. We don't need anything on the outside. However, the dance partner, let's call it, you might call this the yin and yang, the dance partner is the thing that's forever changing. It's the opposite principle, which in Vedic wisdom is called, does anyone know? It's another P. The other principle is called Prakriti. It is what elements are made of, it's what we see, it's how our body moves, it's the chemicals, it's the breath, it's everything that's alive. And everything that's forever changing. So yeah, I told you this would be deep. I'm not going to go too much into this, but let's just keep it as that, right? So, if everything is always changing, my thoughts are changing, my skin is changing, but there's this stillness within that doesn't change, that I really am, then the stuff that's always changing, it's like putty. It can be played with. And I don't need to attach to it because it's always changing. So if I'm not attached to it, if I was like a little kid who had Play-Doh, and I'm like, ooh, Play-Doh, let's play with this. And then once I'm done with the Play-Doh, okay, let's move on. I'm not so attached to Play-Doh anymore. Let's move on. So with that said, I believe that this earth, we were put on the earth to play the game of life, like players. Play however we want to play. Play with what's aligned to the soul, right? Things that are connected to the soul, because then the forever changing gets connected to the thing that never changes, and this is what oneness means. Oneness means these two modalities, these two forms turning into one, and then there's this wholeness and bliss that's unimaginable. Any yoga practitioners might know the term samadhi. Let's not get into that, but let's just say related. When we are working from the inside soul that is never changing, and our outer actions are connected to that, there is a oneness. So if we play on the outside with a lightness about it though, because we know that it's forever changing, but we're still playing full out, we're still playing with our soul, we're still playing in alignment, then there's ultimate bliss. That's the one thing I've learned over these years. You know, I'm not perfect. I do it as much as I can. And I know that that's what is the highest high. Because it's not even a high anymore. It's just this like forever like humming inside of me. So the two words, Purusha and Prakriti, you might say two principles, opposing energies, the two forms of life, or not even of life, just two forms, two things that make everything up. Our existence, really. So play, back to play. Playing has made everything so much easier for me, because when I'm so serious and so attached to things going right, or thinking I'm right, attaching to my own thoughts, that's when I get headaches. I get so many headaches when I'm attached to being right, or I'm attached to something going how I want it to go. I'm attached. It's like I'm trying to stop water from moving. It's painful. Play helps me ease my body. So a way you can do that is really just to relax your body sometimes when you're going into things. Even the jaw, you might notice the jaw's tensed up. Why is my jaw so tense? I didn't realize that for most of my life, but my jaw was locked all the time. My shoulders were locked. Fists, I was even holding fists sometimes without realizing it. When there's a play, it's like, yeah, something still might be scary. If I'm going to go and public speak in front of 10,000 people, yeah, I'm still going to get tense. But that's the principle that's always changing at play. That's what's going on. That forever changing thought, body sensation, time experience, physical place that I'm in is always changing. But I'm the one who's still inside there, so I can play. I can say, oh, it's okay, it's all changing. I'm sweating. I'm sweating because of the nerves. But it's okay. The more I'm attached to trying to change things that are happening, or judging myself, making everything so serious, the more life seems hard, and the more I get into these existential moments of crisis, and who am I judging myself all day long? Where am I going with life? I'm doing it wrong. I should be doing this. I've had all of it. I still have it. Still have it. Still comes up. But when I come back to these principles, these 5 steps, it's actually all right now. It's different. So, there's a lot of you guys here right now. Must be, I just noticed, this must be a talk that everyone's enjoying. Let me know in the chat. Give me some feedback as we take some rest, take a pause. I've been speaking for a while. I get into a flow, as you can notice. I get into quite the flow. Let me know in the chat what you've got from this session. How has coming to this session benefited you? What are you taking away? What feels different? Put it in the chat. Share it to declare it. Share it with everyone else. Own it. Really claim what you're feeling. Really claim what you've gotten from today. And remember that crisis can be changed into opportunity. There's been so many times that I've been in a crisis because I didn't take action on the thing I wanted to take action on. That's the thing to look out for sometimes. What is this calling me to do? And how am I blocking myself off? It's always the I that's blocking everything off. Oh no, I can't do that. What will people say? Sometimes stuff like that. What will people say? Am I capable of doing that? Am I good enough? Oh, this is going to cost too much. No, let me use the money as an excuse to make me feel better, and so I don't have to do what I wanted to do. There's so much noise. But within there's so much space and possibility. Endless. Endless. If you're someone that wants to start your own thing, usually I meet people like that. They meet me and they say, Raj, I want to do what you're doing. Or something like that. I get them to start taking action on it. In a tiny way. I've had clients that I've said to them, if you're on social media, take a video of yourself today and post it. And they've said, oh my God, that's so scary. And then they've done it and it's been like, oh my God, wow. Or I've had people who've said, I want to go and take a trip on my own because I've seen you do it, Raj. I'm like, yeah, if you're going to tell me stuff like that, I'm not going to leave you alone until you do it. Especially if you've hired me as your coach. So I said to her, this one girl, I said, okay, when would it be nice to do that? And she thought we're still playing in theory world, right? She thought we're just having one of those conversations, dream world, where we just talk about things we want but don't do it. And then I said, okay, cool, that's when you want to do it. All right, how about you do it and then send me a message or screenshot once it's done. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you said you want to do it. What's the reason not to? She came up with a few reasons, but then we talked through that and she said, oh, you know what? I'm just making excuses. That's what happens. We want to do stuff. We want to go into a purpose, but we have all these excuses, or we push people away who are trying to help us sometimes. It's crazy. All right, so I'm seeing everyone's insights from the session. Yeah, we're about to end soon, but let me read through everything that you guys have said. There's quite a lot of you here. It's a big number today. This must be a popular topic, so maybe I should do more of these. It's probably popular because this is one of the things that I'm challenged with all the time. I was a lot in the past as well. And people that want to work with me usually have this question. Some transition. There's some kind of like question of what am I doing right now? Then they'll message me and they'll say, Raj, I'm going through this thing. And I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean. I've had that hundreds of times. So maybe that's why there's so many people here today. I think that's how energy works, right? All right, let me have a quick look at the chat before we finish. I'm enjoying this very much. I've struggled with finding what my purpose was, like they always tell you to do. And the way you broke it down, even walking in the woods is a purpose. Exactly. Even walking in the woods is a purpose. If you're tired, there's so many things, so many times I say to people, if I'm tired, it's very purposeful for me to do a yoga nidra right now for 20 minutes. Because that's going to make the rest of my day epic. So that's being purposeful. It's being very smart with our time on this earth. I think that's what purposeful is. That's my definition of it. Being very smart with my existence on this earth, rather than letting time fly by. And you know these phrases like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's another Christmas. Oh my God, it's my birthday again. Oh, where's the time going?" We say stuff like that. Where's the time going? Yeah, the time's dripping away in front of us. That's what's going on, right? Unless, what I started doing when I turned 30, I was like, I had one of these crises, right? And I was like, I'm never going to let myself say that ever again. Like, oh my God, it's another birthday. I'm getting older. Oh, what am I doing with my life? Oh my God, it's New Year's. Oh, what am I doing with my life? Because I used to say that all the time. Now I say, oh my God, it's been an amazing year. Wow. Just because there's been some purposefulness to my life. There's been victories, right? So I encourage all of you to write down those things that you want. Write down who you want to be. Whatever is coming out of you, write it down. And then start taking some action. All right, let me see what else there is. I like the play idea without attaching to situations or things. Would be curious to learn more about how to detach. Okay, meditate, but not just meditate, because people get meditation wrong a lot of the times. And not wrong in a judgy way, but let's just say it could be better, could be optimized. Meditate after you've done some kind of movement, so your body can be relaxed. That will help you to slow down, right? That will help you to detach, because the body is so tense that it creates tension in the mind. Body is very important in this whole thing, hugely. So that would help you. And to play, it can also be, like I've challenged my clients sometimes. I've said to them, let's create a playlist for the week. So I've given them literal conscious things, challenges for them to do in the week that get them into a playfulness. So it's about like really training. It's a training, right? It's not a theory. It's not a mental thing. It's a training, right? And if anyone wants a challenge, then feel free to message me. If any of these 5 points hit you today and you're like, oh, I really want to work on that one, Raj, but I'm not sure how, then go to my website, withraj.com. There will be a chat button with my head there. And if you want, you can send me a request you can ask me a question and I'll be happy to advise or guide you towards where you want to be. Let me see what else there is. Are you doing live at this time weekly? Yeah, really good question. Because what's happening for me recently is I'm getting myself a bit more structured with my things I'm doing. So there will be a weekly live from now on, unless I'm not in the country or I'm away or something like that. It's going to be a weekly live. I haven't decided which day. I think it's Wednesday, actually. Let me have a look. Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing them from Wednesdays or Thursdays from now on. There's a next one on the Thursday on the 19th, which is a meditation challenge. Oh yes, that reminds me to tell you. So this Thursday, I'm doing a meditation mastery challenge. I've created an amazing worksheet and everything for this. I've created a worksheet with a list of 3 types of meditations. I've designed them myself, and I've given specific instructions. I've given some teaching, so it will give you some theory on it, give you a practice, and then it gives you some coaching questions to ask yourself as reflection afterwards. So this sheet's worth at least it's worth a lot, let's say, if I was charging for it. But lucky for you, I'm not charging for this. So if anyone wants that sheet and then you want to join Thursday's session, which is the what's the word? It's the companion to that worksheet. Then drop me a message and let me know, because then you'll be part of this challenge, and you'll get these meditations, you'll get these instructions, as well as you will be invited to a Zoom call with a small group of people. So I'm not going to let that many people join this Zoom call. So I'm thinking max 30, right? So if anyone wants to be a part of that, drop me a message. I know there's a lot of you guys here, so if I get a lot of messages, then I might stretch that 30, right? Let's see. So if anyone wants to join, it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. I made this sheet today. I really got creative, and I wrote down things as if someone was receiving this worksheet and they had me in front of them as their personal coach, right? That's how I've designed it. Because my whole thing that I've kind of really summoned myself towards this week is, how can I serve to another level that I haven't served before? That means regular sessions. That means a YouTube video is going to go out every week from now on, which I haven't really done before. That means if you join my weekly newsletter through my website, you're going to get an article from me each week. You'll get the YouTube links. What else? And there's a bunch of more exciting things, let's say. So if you want to jump on that exciting adventure that I'm on right now, then yeah, just go to my website and drop me a message. I'm trying to build a community, actually. That's really what I'm trying to do. A community of like-minded people, right? It's going to be a Facebook group. There's all sorts of stuff going on. So go on my website first. That's the gateway to all of this. All right, what else? Let me just quickly browse through the chat. I probably missed a few things, but I'm just going to be real quick now. I like not needing a grand purpose, living by the moment. Yes. Have a daily purpose, action coming from the heart. Yes. Exactly, action coming from the heart. I even got this thing made just recently. You can't see it, but it just says, wait, why is it upside down? It says intrinsic actions only. And I'm just going to stick that somewhere so I remember. Intrinsic drivers rather than chasing carrots, let's call it. All right, let's see what else. Had a stressful day, swept away. I was able to go back into awareness. Good. That's me. Excuses. Okay, if you're the excuses person, I think I wrote a post about this recently. I'll send it to you if you want. Because I did a lot of excuses, so I get you. No judgment from me. Instead, there's a solution. Let's move past those excuses. All right, Australian friendly time. Yeah, love that. I might have to do sessions more at this time because I get US, I get Australia, and I get Europe. Well, some Europe anyway. I think this is one of the first times I've done a session this late. It's cool to have you Aussies here. And if I'm in Australia, which I might be, to be honest, who knows, I might be there. Heard Christmas time's good. Then, yeah, it'll be cool to do some more lives and see who else I capture. All right, what else? All right, I think that's it. If I missed your comment, apologies. I've just browsed through them real quick. Love the sound of all of this coming up. Yeah, I've got a coach, a business coach recently who's really been helping me focus myself to have my best life. You know, this is the challenge sometimes, being someone who is quite introverted, or let's call it spiritual driven. It's like living the best life, working on that inner world, but also working on the outer world, right? Also working on, what do I want my life to be like? How do I want to create my lifestyle? Do I want to be anywhere in the world whenever I want? Yeah, that'd be great. How do I want to serve people? What kind of community am I building? Am I drawing in the people that are just like me and bringing them to this Facebook group, for example, that I'm about to launch this week? So yeah, it's really fun. I'm in a good zone right now. I kind of go in these phases where I get lost sometimes, to be honest. But then I just come back. That's what existential crises are like. I'm an expert at them. All right. I think that's it from today. Great time in California as well. Okay, thanks for the feedback, guys. We got 3 parts of the world saying the same thing, which is good. It's quite late for me, to be honest, but let's see. I might play around with this, maybe an hour earlier than this. Let's see if you Aussies wake up. All right. I think that is all from me for today. I hope you got a lot from this. I hope you enjoyed these 5 P's that I shared today. If you really work on these, not just listen to the theory, if you take little steps, you're never going to have an existential crisis. Or actually, let me reframe that. You may have one, but you'll move out of it very quickly, rather than it being this thing that goes on for years of being unfulfilled. You know, that was me. And it's quite sad, to be honest. So I'm just here to say there's no need. No need. You can live a fully blissed out existence and do well in your life and career at the same time. It's crazy to think about that. All right, guys. So you've been here for a while, which is great. Like I said, you can find me on my website, and you will see all the things that I'm up to if you join my newsletter, because I'm going to be sending those out regularly from now on. Well, hopefully, you know, I'm still human, but that's my intention. Go to my website, a pop-up will appear. You'll get some free stuff if you put your email there, and then you'll also get links to all of the YouTube videos where I'm going to be posting instructional guided meditations and breathwork sessions and all sorts of stuff. Basically, I got this like kit of things. So what else? Yeah, that's all. And if you want to join the meditation challenge, it's this Thursday. You need a worksheet before you start that. So drop me a message if you want the worksheet, because the worksheet is basically introducing you to Thursday's session. It tells you what's happening, why we're doing this. The worksheet includes the meditations, the questions and stuff like that. So grab me there. And one last thing, I always forget, I'm hosting a retreat in Tanzania, by the way, just to tell you all right now. This is going to be the last thing. If you don't want to hear this, you can go, that's fine. no worries. If you're not interested in hearing this is one of my paid offerings. But I am hosting a retreat in Tanzania this November. So we go on the 20th, we start on the 20th of November in person. And it's all these things I spoke about: presence, power, prem, purposefulness, play. We're going to systematically work on this in person. Something I don't really do. I hardly ever see people in person. But I wanted to host a retreat in person every year, right? So this time is in Tanzania, of all places. And it's going to be pretty mind-blowing because we're going to do yoga sessions. We're going to do all of this deep inner looking. And most importantly, like I'm saying to everyone, you're not flying home until we make sure 2024 is going to be the most epic year of your life. That's my aim. You're not getting on the plane until you have a smile on your face saying, "Oh my God, Raj, I'm so happy this retreat was amazing. I'm so excited for the year." And you're blissed out. You're blissed out. And then you go home and then you have your Christmas and New Year's with your family. And your family are like, "Why are you smiling so much? Why are you so excited? I've never seen you like this." It's because you came to the retreat. And that's not me like trying to sell you it. It's me saying how excited I am about this and my commitment. What am I going to bring to people that are there? Everything, basically, every little secret, every little bit of energy I've got. So I'm super excited. And it's not for everyone, by the way. So if you're not interested, if you're like, "Yeah, Raj, whatever, I'm not up for that." That's cool, right? But some people love this kind of stuff. Travel mixed with looking inside and designing a life, right? All the things I love. So how can we find out more about the Tanzania retreat? So what you can do is you can message me on Instagram, Raj Gorsia. Oh, by the way, I'm posting little things on there as well. I'm becoming like omnipresent in a way. So you can either message me on Instagram or you can find me on Facebook, message me there, or through my website, which is withraj.com. Just find a way to message me, basically, Erin. And yeah, we'll have a chat. It'll be lovely to hear, be lovely to know you first and then see if this is a good fit for you. And anyone else who hasn't put a message there but would love to come. It's the last chance, and I love last minute people because I'm one of them. So I realize the more I say it, the more I'm going to get my kind of people who are like, "Yes, last minute trip, let's do it, let's fly." Because that's me. Anyway, what else? Let me just quickly have a look. Last thing, someone said, "What time is it on Thursday?" It is at 6 p.m. UK time, which is, I don't know, you're going to have to work that one out. 6 p.m. UK time is, yeah, you're going to have to work that one out. You'll see it on my page. All right, perfect. All right, let's leave it as that, guys. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening, daytime, tomorrow. I hope the existential question that you're having has been resolved for today. That's my mission. Hope you feel excited about life. Hope you see how this life is precious, to be honest. Might as well make the most of it, have fun, do things that we love. Because who knows when it ends, right? Let's make the most of this thing. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it as that. And I'll see some of you guys Thursday. I'll speak to some of you guys because I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of messages in my inbox soon. Usually do, which is quite fun. Sometimes I get some really interesting ones, like someone telling me that their son watches all my lives and someone else telling me that their whole family watches my lives. And I was like, that's kind of cool. I get all sorts of messages like, "Wow, Raj, when I came to your session, something shifted and I did this." So yeah, feel free to share. It's always lovely to see And feel free to ask me things as well. I'll be happy to recommend and help out. Alright guys, let's leave it as that and enjoy, and see you soon.